Cristina Bruce, thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the forum. You've just been on stage talking about the end of the world as we know it and the consequences for agriculture and environment. We'll talk about that in a moment. You are the Senior Vice President for Sustainability and Social Impact for Anglo American, the global mining company. And you're looking at crop nutrients and mining those. Polyhalites, am I right in saying that? Because you're looking at innovation in fertilizer products, a new area for you, because that's absolutely essential to looking at some of these issues that we talk about, feeding the world, a growing world, a hungry world, and doing it sustainably.
Thank you for having me. Today is really great opportunity to come together with regulators, with representatives of the farming industry, with consumers, to really discuss the challenges that the agricultural industry is facing today. As you say, a new area for Anglo American. We are responding and positioning our strategy and our long-term portfolio to align with the global trends that we see before us in order to have a successful business, a sustainable business over the long term. And what do we see? We see, as you said, a growing global population, growing challenges around food security, and an increasing soil health crisis. As a result, we are investing in developing the world's largest polyhalite resource in the north of England. It is a project that will develop a group of innovative, effective, low-carbon fertilizers that will provide farmers with calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sulfur, enabling them to increase nitrogen use efficiency, to have a naturally occurring source of sulfur, and to improve soil health.
No more important a time to think about that sort of innovation than when we look at the crisis that we have, the shocks to the system, the fertilizer crisis and fertilizer security. So it's an important moment. We often talk about scalability at the forum and how good ideas, innovations, they're in practice, are difficult in practice. How do you see scaling up a project in the north of England to really make a difference to resilience in the food systems? Is that possible?
So the nature of our business is that we make very long-term investment decisions in response to some of those trends. We believe that it is possible. Given the challenges that we face, I don't think we are going to be in a world where we have a particular solution. It's going to rely on multiple solutions. And the research that we are doing with academic institutions, with farmers in different countries, is showing us that polyhalite really has a role to play in that future. In order to make it a reality, we need to work with regulators, we need to work with partners, as I said, with scientists, but also with customers, to make sure that we can access the markets that we need to, that we can develop the right fertilizer products to respond to that. So I think that by working in partnership, we really can focus on systems resilience, which is key, key to the challenges that we face.
And so what did you hear from the voices that you shared the forum platform with today? Because you said coming together, listening, bringing together those voices is important. What did you learn that was new, but what did you hear?
Yeah, it was, it's always great to be on this type of panel. There are some hugely experienced voices in the room. What did I hear? There's this tension between, are we facing an absolute world-ending crisis right now in terms of the volatility that we are experiencing, or have we been facing an end-of-the-world type crisis over years now, as people say in the climate space would point towards? And so what does that mean for how we respond? And so there was this interesting debate about, is this really a game changer, or is this just an accentuation of challenges and volatility that we've been facing over many years? There was also a debate and a discussion of the role of science and the use of data in order to support innovation, the role of government and regulatory support for science. I think, speaking as Anglo-American, we have partnerships with with institutions such as the IAEA to look at the role that polyhalite can play in soil health. So there is a real role, I think, that private companies can play in supporting research, supporting development. But there was very much a discussion in the room about what the role of regulators should be in that.
I mean, you have your critics in the space of mining and sustainability. So establishing trust, building thriving communities, and your responsibilities, I know that's at the heart of your role. How important is it to keep building trust?
It's absolutely critical. You mentioned my role. I think my role and my team is about really identifying which sustainability practices and which sustainability areas will truly add value to our business, but also to our stakeholders over the long term. So the communities that host our mines, the governments that host us, and the people that we partner with. It takes 17 years on average to develop a mine from discovery to production, often at the cost of billions of dollars. So if we don't take that long-term trust building into consideration, we're not building the foundations for a truly successful business over the long term. So one of the points that came up on the panel is this is about value, and yes, profit, dollar signs are linked to that value, but it's about a holistic understanding of value as well, a broader meaning, value that points to trust and to well-being, so that we can prosper over the long term.
And I believe you're a former British diplomat, so through that lens, when we look at, of course, the huge unrest in the world at the moment, I wonder how that was a thread through the panel, because if we look at it from that point of view, energy security, water security, food security, you talked about climate change, it's really every alarm bell is flashing red. What did the panel make progress, do you believe, in terms of forwarding that conversation?
It's a huge conversation.
Right.
But what I think, speaking as a former diplomat, I place a huge amount of value on relationships. And I think I also place value on the role of government. And the reason why I left the Foreign Office and now work in a private company is because I believe in the positive impact that private companies can have. So coming together with people from different sectors and really trying to discuss challenges, building relationships of trust at a time like this of great uncertainty, I think is valuable. It's important for us to gather, not just with regards to this sector, but to other sectors, to really talk through some of the volatility that we're facing right now.
Yes, the only predictable thing is unpredictability, of course, but I'm glad it was valuable. Thank you so much for contributing. Enjoy the rest of the forum. Cristina, Bruce, thank you very much.
Thank you.